Hello, and welcome to Convos presented by Brooklyn Quarter and the League of Filmmakers. I am Danielle Beckman, and I am joined by two incredible filmmakers today. One of them is Dani De Jesus. She is a producer and filmmaker with Alejandro Films, and she has a robust portfolio. While she was at UCLA, she had deep involvement, and this is a passion of mine as well, with organizations advocating for women's rights. She's the former director of development at Craig Anderson Productions, and she's produced multiple films and music videos, including recent Asian American Pacific Islander anthem, Gold. You may have heard of it, by Ella J. Basco, featuring Ruby Ibarra. And that was directed by her sister, Leslie Alejandro, who I will introduce now. Leslie Alejandro is a multi-hyphenate director and writer, producer, filmmaker, photographer. Her work has been featured in Vogue, Vanity Fair, Variety, Men's Health, GQ, and Women's Health, and I'm sure many more places. In 2021, Alejandro's docuseries, Where Are You From? The Search for Filipino-American Cultural Identity was selected into the CNN Plus Film Independent Original Series Workshop. So both Dani and Leslie are here with me today to talk about their gorgeously, hauntingly relevant short film called Parachutes, which is screening here at Comic-Con on Saturday night. Welcome, Dani and Leslie.
That was so good.
Thank you. I
was just like, my eyes was like, huh.
I was like, this really? Who did that? You're like, wow, who is this woman?
Who are these people?
She sounds incredible. Isn't that funny about bios? Sometimes you're like, but what? No, but honestly, hearing a bio read aloud, what a wonderful celebration to kind of look back at all the things that you have each individually done and then done together.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm so happy you're both here.
We're so happy to be here. We're happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
Of course. I mean, I want to touch on a few things, but first, how many cons has this been for both of you? This is not your first time coming to Comic-Con, I'm guessing.
It is mine.
It is her first time.
Yeah, this is my very, very first Comic-Con. I am a novice. I am a virgin.
That is incredible. Okay, so have you not been into the convention center yet?
We picked up our badges yesterday and she saw me. My jaw was dropped the whole entire time. Just like, oh my gosh. I've worked at this convention center many, many times, but in an educator role with educators. So I'm very familiar with the convention center. Okay. A completely different vibe, a completely different feeling. So this has been unreal just to kind of walk in and you've seen the photos, you've seen the videos, you understand the concept, but you really don't grasp the enormity of it all, the intensity of it all, but the fun of it all. So yeah, we were greeted right away by, I think it was Catwoman.
It was Catwoman.
And you know, then ushered to get our badges, and people were just so kind and gentle. So you instantly feel like you're, you know, I'm a sci-fi horror geek, and you just feel like you're with your peeps. So I'm just stoked to be here.
That's it. That's the fun thing. You know, my husband and co-producer of Convos, Timothy Reese, he always says that Comic-Con feels like that moment that everyone steps out of their favorite movie, that they just saw their favorite thing, and they're all on the street having fun talking about it, like right before you walk to your car. That moment.
I love it.
And that's the energy of Comic-Con all week. It's like that magic of the excitement. And also what's so cool is there's like exclusive, there's never before seen things, you know? And okay, so Leslie, for you, you're a veteran here.
Not a veteran. It's my first Comic-Con for obviously a project that I've done. I've been here a couple times before for projects that my husband has done. So
okay, awesome, excellent. Yes, and the third party of Alejandro Films is Kevin Alejandro. Couldn't be here with us today, but he's an incredible actor, producer as well. And so shout out Kevin. Hey. Well, I really want to talk about your beautiful short film called Parachutes, an incredible cast, incredible vision, director, the script. I can imagine reading it on the page and feeling it come to life. So, you know, tell our listeners a little bit about the film, and then we can dive in a little more.
Oh God, here we go.
Yeah, give us ready? Go. 30 seconds.
I know,
No. I mean, of course, I can speak to it, but I would love to just you know to hear your point of view.
It is a film about an foreign exchange student who immigrated from Korea to the U.S. through an student exchange program, and she ended up in Middle America in a trailer park home with a host mom that wasn't so very nice. There was also another exchange student from Japan that was there already, so you kind of are, forced into this situation of something that already existed, and she has no idea what she's getting herself into. So, and it was based on a true story of a friend of ours
Oh,
who
wow.
told us this story years ago, and I couldn't get it out of my head. So I really also couldn't believe that a situation could ever happen like this. And so I kind of wanted to see for myself what that would look like. And it was sad and scary, but what they overcame just is so beautiful at the same time.
And Leslie was very passionate about making sure that it had a very different ending than the way that it wound up. So,
Okay,
yes.
yeah, from
I
real
always
life.
say that it was the ending that I feel that everybody
A
deserved.
little
Yes.
revisionist history there.
There you go. And then
Mhm.
exactly, because and what genre would you say Parachutes is? Because it definitely feels like a drama, a thriller, and then it maybe takes a little bit of a horror turn.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. We love playing in the genre space. We love horror. We love thrillers. And I think it just kind of those types of genres naturally fit into the storytelling capabilities of going into more subversive themes, and things that you can't really quite pinpoint, but you're like, how do I explore the horrors of immigration stories, which are so relevant today, in a way that makes it still very grounded and real. So without there being any monsters, you are able to be like, oh wait, there actually are monsters when it comes to these types of stories. So how do we ensure that those monsters get revealed and get their comeuppance?
As a friend of mine had said the term genre queer, and I was like, I love that term.
Oh, I love.
And
Yes.
I love that term because I feel that I'm influenced by so many different genres. Thrillers, psychological horrors are my absolute favorite. And so having those elements is definitely something that I will always, always put out there in everything that I do. But at the same time, I think that life isn't just one genre, and so
Absolutely.
so be able to kind of like emulate real life situations is definitely a favorite of mine.
Oh, for sure. And that ending is so satisfying.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very excited for people to go on that journey with parachutes. And with I love that this was inspired by something that you already knew, and then you were like able to really take that back in it. For Leslie, with directing something that is kind of your own project that you write, direct, produce, get to create in an indie way, how do you feel that that differs from, directing for television, which I know you've done a lot of as well?
Actually, I've only done it once. I'm going to do it
Oh my
again.
gosh.
I am doing another one in October, but I had only done it once. So
Okay.
so in the indie space was my forte and my experience. So which I felt really helped me when I directed in the television space. It was really funny because by the end of Parachutes, I looked at Danny and I'm like, can we just please have a budget the
Yeah.
next one that
I know, I
we do,
know.
please? I mean, it
I
was,
know.
how it is. It's very difficult. And so,
Yes.
but then having that budget, I'm just kind of like, I don't know what to do with it. And I was suggesting like, we can use that for this scene too. And they're like, well, just make you one. And I was like, I don't have to borrow my friend's ironing board. What are you talking about? And they're like,
Wow.
yes. I'm like, okay, great.
Oh my
But I feel like
God.
it helps me because, when directing television, you got to stay on budget, you got to stay on schedule. Everything is obviously the money. So I felt that really helped me a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And with that, I have to say, parachutes feels very expensive. And what I notice about certain indie films that feel expensive and elevated, it's actually the creators
Yeah.
using their brilliance
Yeah.
to make something
Yeah.
elevated with a point of view. And the point of view and the way the camera also tells the story in this film, I was noticing so much. I mean, look, I just had my directorial
No, I
debut,
love
so I'm
that.
looking, thank you. But I think I'm looking so close. I'm like, oh my God, why is the camera there? you know, when I'm like seeing things. And I mean, there are certain, because a lot of this takes place inside a trailer,
Yeah.
which was so creatively used,
Yeah.
like the nature of these tight spaces.
That
So
it was very difficult
yeah,
to try and fit an entire camera package in, like, and with a crew. So we kind of relied on. We were very
A lot of
fortunate.
preparation.
Yeah, and we were very fortunate that Panavision had sponsored us, and so they
incredible.
gave us like incredible cameras that were able, like, for the lenses to separate, and so that we can kind of get little different angles. I know it was really amazing, but we were hoping to be able to get in some type of like a mobile home as opposed to a RV trailer.
Yeah.
But I think it actually ended up benefiting us to tell that story, to kind of keep them a lot more tight. And
I was going to
so,
say it felt very bleak.
Exactly. Well, here you have someone who's coming looking for the American dream in an expansive way, and all you think is big and huge and just broad. And then she winds up in this very insulated, small, tight space. And I think that really just also helps the audience understand that, like you were saying, they're trapped in this situation. And that's also a theme that we're very fascinated to play with, is this idea that, a lot of people don't understand when people are coming to new places. You think that they have options, but oftentimes they really don't. And this is what she landed in, and this is where she was at. And so I think Leslie's ability to get into these tight places and really make it work, because we had to get really creative how to make these spots work. I think that really served the story and helped kind of just enunciate that theme more.
and we also, like, played with the aspect ratio of
Cool.
when we opened the film, we were at 16:9, and
I
then
noticed.
as soon as
No, it was so effective. Keep going.
and then as soon as I know I was super impressed and proud when my 13-year-old niece, who she actually shot BTS, and she is the youngest director to ever have a film at Outfest when she was 12 years old.
Incredible.
I know. And so she called me right away before she saw it, and she was like, "You changed the aspect ratio." And I was like, "I love that you noticed that." So then when she wakes up in her reality, we go to 4:3, and then towards the end, when things start to come back, come back for her, then kind of we open back up to 16:9. So kind of like really trying to keep the audience in that confined space was very important.
Oh, and it really, really worked. And I think too, and Danny, you've sort of been touching on this, the idea of you were talking about a little bit about like that villain,
Yes.
or those expectations of
Yeah.
what you think
Yeah.
America is. And there's so much, you don't have to do that much with this story for us as the audience to put meaning on it.
Right. Right.
Like
Yeah.
but that's also so beautifully in the script, like
Thank
without
you.
those little subtle things that you all created.
Yes.
That's what seamlessly makes
Yes.
makes us
Yes.
go, "Ooh, there's
Yes.
a double, triple meaning
Yes.
here."
My
Absolutely.
favorite kind of films, and the films that I kind of pride myself in wanting to create, are films that show not necessarily like a actual horror monster, but kind of holding a mirror up to the audience to show the monsters that we all have within us, and that we all can be capable of, no matter how good we think that we are, and how good we think that, like, what we are doing.
Mm.
And I really, I think that's just also the growth, or kind of my journey of figuring out myself, and trying to take accountability for the way that I think, and the things that I've done, and the things that I do, and how I'm trying to grow as a
Yes.
person. And having to face yourself and understand those aspects of who you are and your personality, I think, is super important too.
Yes, and very hard, but
Yeah.
honestly, art can sometimes do that.
And that's the beauty of these types of experiences, right? As you're watching, where do you see yourself? What do you understand? How can you reflect? And I love that you said that. And that's ideally the types of projects that I know we want to produce and create are films that make people think and make people reflect, just by watching it, just by inserting themselves somewhere in the story.
Yes.
And connecting with the characters, the situation, even though they can't necessarily connect to the details of the scenario.
Yes.
You can still be like, oh my gosh, because we don't have that experience at
Right.
all, right? And none of that is ours, but at the same time, we connected so much to a lot of the themes, a lot of the, everyone's favorite phrase, microaggressions, like those things exist for us on the daily. So it's nice to just be able to and bring them in and see where people, how it just affects people.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And so, okay, with this, where would you like parachutes to land? Because I know you're on your festival circuit right now, and it feels kind of like a social impact film in a way. Like it can be
Yeah,
something,
I mean, I never want to do things on the nose, and
Oh no, it's not
nor am
on the
I trying
nose.
to do any, finger wags as well. But there's again, I'm not trying to point any fingers. A lot of fingers I'm pointing back at myself, and like where kind of
Mm.
checking my own biases, checking my own privileges.
Ugh.
And I was warned that by Danny and everybody else about having a 30-minute film, and what that would look like for the festival circuit. So our festival route is not very
Robust.
yeah, robust, needless to say, which I completely accepted,
Sure.
because I wanted to tell a different type of story. I wanted
Yeah.
to do something that had my voice in what I wanted to say, and however long it took to say it. We are so grateful that we got into Comic-Con,
Yeah.
and that they are giving this opportunity to be able to show it at this capacity. But eventually, ultimate goal is to have it on a streaming service.
Yes,
Let's
perfect.
put it on the airplanes. Let's put
Yes,
it
let's
on
get
everywhere. Like
seriously.
everywhere and everything that we
Absolutely.
can have it on, that we can get it
Excellent.
into. Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
great. Well, I am always looking out for
I know you
what
are.
Team
I know you
Alejandro's
are.
doing.
I know you are.
Okay,
Yes.
I am such a fan, and
Oh,
I'm just so grateful that you both were able to come
Thank
today.
thank you so
you.
And of
much.
course, and I really want people to check out Parachutes, please. And how can people find your work and get in touch with you?
And we have a few things. We have our website, which is alejandrofilms.com. And then, of course, on Instagram, alejandrofilms_. Those are the best ways to find what we're up to and doing. And then you could find Leslie, myself, and Kevin, our own individual things after that. But yeah, we're hoping to eventually get this onto, like Leslie said, into the streamers. But eventually it'll find its way to, somewhere that people can access it. The big thing is we just want people to just to think and just to reflect and just to enjoy and be entertained. And we're looking forward to more projects to come and collaborating with awesome people like you and
Exactly.
Timothy.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yes, Timothy behind the camera. Hey. I know. I love talking about him when he's
Yes.
standing right there.
Oh, I
And the
know.
audience also knows that he's standing right
Well, this
there.
is a great thing too, because what we absolutely love about so much of what we do is that we always say that we work with family. And so Alejandro Films is a family production company. Everyone that we involve ourselves with, they are like family. And so
think we
when I
had
said
about,
you
like-
and Timothy are family, and I'm like, this is just so
I think we had 3 or 4
couples and
producing,
teams.
couples,
Yeah.
that were in, that were associated with the project. So
I love
we
it.
love that too.
I love it
Yes,
so much.
yes.
Well, thank you both for
Thank
being
you,
here, and enjoy the
Danielle.
rest of your
Oh,
con.
I appreciate it. Thank you so
Yay.
much.
And thank you all for watching Convos. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.